Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist does to your confidence. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So confidence, this is something that isn't really talked about as often when you were in the narcissistic relationship, and certainly post-narcissistic relationship. You see, confidence is something that you had before you met the narcissist. Maybe you've regained it right now, but I can assure you when you were with the narcissist or in that relationship, your confidence was taking a hit. It was taking a hit left, right, and center because you weren't believing in yourself. Why would that be? Well, you were being gaslit. You were being challenged. You were being questioned. You weren't certain of decisions that you made. Were they the right decision? Did you actually do what you said you would do? This is what the narcissist wanted you doing. They wanted you believing in them, not believing in yourself, losing your confidence, becoming a shell of yourself, becoming an extension of them, and losing your identity to them. The narcissist wanted the unpaid helper. They wanted the walking apology. They wanted the sounding board. They wanted someone to control and to manipulate, and someone who would not have confidence. Now, the narcissist is a master manipulator. They know what they're doing. They put their clothes on the exact same way you do, and they breathe the same air. What they want to do is they want to take from people. They want to take as much as they can. And confidence is something that they really take an awful lot of that from you when you were in the relationship. Think about who you were before you met the narcissist. You probably were very successful. You were confident. You knew where you were going. You knew where you were, and you knew where you wanted to go. You had a plan, a purpose, you had drive, you had focus. You're probably great at your job, and you enjoyed your hobbies, and you probably were really healthy or eating healthy, or a world traveler, or maybe you started your own business. Your relationships were doing very well. Romantic friendships, family relationships, etc., colleagues, coworkers. But then what happened? Along came the narcissist, somebody who you weren't prepared for, somebody who you believed in their words, and you believed in what they told you. The narcissist sold you a bill of goods. They told you A, B, and C, and they absolutely delivered nothing but toxicity, nothing but waste, nothing but a vastness, nothing but emptiness. And your confidence is something that took a massive hit when you were in that relationship. I was no different. When you were in the relationship, you were doing everything you possibly could to put out all of the circumstances / fires that the narcissist was igniting intentionally. And the narcissist was trying to break that relationship. They were trying to get you into that narcissistic fog, keep you placed where you were existing in the narcissistic, zombie-like, trance-like state, and they wanted to slowly extract everything from you. Now, throughout that relationship, I can assure you, you had micro discards or mini discards. It wasn't just one ending of the relationship. Probably that relationship you were a part of, it ended a few times, maybe even more than a few times. Think about this. Say you were in the relationship for a few years, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Well, how many times did you and or the narcissist call it off? Maybe for a week or a month or so. Probably happened a few times. It may not have happened as dramatic as I just illustrated, but maybe it did. If that was the case, let's say that you guys took a couple weeks off a couple times during the relationship, well, that screams instability. It screams inaccountability. It screams no togetherness. And it screamed that you had lost your confidence because you were pining for the narcissist. You most likely were thinking about them, and you were wondering, could you fix the relationship again? Could you do exactly what they wanted you to do? Would you be moldable? Would you be malleable? Would you be able to transform yourself into what the narcissist wanted you to do? Now, you probably didn't think in those exact terms, but maybe you did. At the same time, I can assure you that when you were in that zombie-like, trance-like state, which is the narcissistic fog, you wanted to be with the narcissist because you were caught up. You were in a place that you did not even know existed, and you were missing the narcissist. You weren't taught narcissism 101 in school, so you didn't know that the narcissist essentially placed you there, and they wanted to really keep you stuck and to keep you tricked and trapped and manipulated, and they wanted you to do whatever they wanted you to do for that length of the relationship. But your confidence took a hit. Think about your job when you were in that relationship. Your job, I can assure you, you weren't performing at such a high level. You were probably thinking about the narcissist, where they were, who they were with, what they were doing, why they weren't answering your texts, why your texts would have 2 check marks, but they wouldn't reply back to you. Why, when the narcissist would text you or call you, you would drop whatever you were doing to communicate with them. You couldn't wrap your head around it. You didn't know where you were. But again, this is the dichotomy of the narcissistic relationship. It is such that the narcissist trains people. They groom people into doing what they want. And the narcissist, once they get people where they want, they don't want them as much any longer. They take them for granted. They put them on the shelf like a Ken doll or a Barbie doll, and they begin or they resume grooming other sources of supply or your replacement. And this is how the cycle goes around and around and around in a loop. The one constant in the narcissistic abusive cycle, it is the narcissist, it is not you. So if this is the first video you're ever consuming, or if this is the 1,000th or 10,000th video you're ever consuming, be kind with yourself, be patient with yourself, be stoic, be centered, appreciate that in fact you are out of the relationship and that going back will never serve you. Accepting a Hoover, which is for a whole different video, has never served anybody in the history of humankind. That's why you must be unhooverable, which is why virtually in every video I create, I suggest to go no contact, to block these people, delete them, remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? So when you do block them, you will realize a few things. 1, your energy will return. 2, your clarity will return. 3, yes, your confidence will return in time. So will your finances. So will some of your relationships. And so will your focus, your purpose. And so will your hobbies, which I'll talk about in a moment, and your performance at job and your health, etc. But this doesn't happen overnight. There is no magic wand that can be waved or no pill that can be consumed that will automatically heal you. It doesn't work that way. And if anybody, and I mean anybody, ever tells you when you will heal, they don't know what they're talking about. Nobody can predict or tell another person when they're going to heal. The healing path is not linear. It will take you a lot of time. It will take a lot of processing. It will take healing childhood wounds, journaling, meditating, seeing a therapist, watching videos, writing, slowing your life down and staying and insulating yourself in that cocoon of boundaries. So again, if anyone ever tells you, oh, do A, B, and C and you'll heal in a couple months or a couple years, it doesn't work that way. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. The healing path is a direct correlation to how much work you place into yourself. And the more you work you place in yourself, and the sooner you go no contact, etc., and realize that these people do exist that don't care about you. They don't have the ability to love. They have no empathy, and all they want to do is destroy people's lives. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you will understand that, yeah, there's work to be done here because that person or those people don't think like me. And for people who don't know what narcissism was or is, and that was me at one point, it certainly was you, it's unfathomable that another person cannot love, that another person can be jealous and envious of you, that another person can try and take anything they can from you just because they can, or because they don't want you to have it, which again includes your time, money, energy, effort, love, your relationships, health, hobbies, etc. I'll talk about your hobbies for a moment. When you were in the relationship with the narcissist, you probably weren't participating in your hobbies nearly as much. Maybe you like to paint or to play music, or maybe you like to travel, or you like to do puzzles. Who knows what it was? But what you did is you weren't doing those nearly as much because all of your energy was going to the narcissist, whether you were with them or you weren't with them. That's one part. Another part was because the narcissist didn't want you enjoying your hobbies. They wanted you to be focused on them, because then they could twist the knife in you deeper and deeper and deeper throughout that relationship. And certainly and specifically, and the most important is when the relationship ended. This is what the narcissist wants to do. They want to take everything that makes you you, or that made you you. They want to crumble it up like a sheet of paper, throw it away on the freeway. And then they just want to slither off onto the new supply. And they want to leave you a shell of yourself. That's why the narcissist will never give you closure. They won't be accountable. They can't introspect. They didn't walk up to you and give you that 2-page report and say, here's who I am, here's what I've done to people before I met you, here's what I'll do to you, and this is what I'm going to do when the relationship ends, and this is what I'm going to be doing to the new supply, and on and on and on. They didn't do that, because if they did, you would have run for the hills. You would have said, no, I'm out, thank you, lose my number, disappear. I never met you, I have no idea who you are, where you came from, but I want nothing to do with you. But that's not the way it worked. So your confidence will return. So now post-relationship with your hobbies, maybe you are now picking up the hobbies that you used to participate in, or maybe you picked up new hobbies. But this is instrumental because your confidence will return post-relationship, specifically once you've healed. And again, it doesn't happen overnight, but when you've healed, you realize that actually you can go to the store and buy whatever kind of peanut butter you want. You can get whatever kind of haircut or hairstyle you want. You can go to the beauty parlor or to the manicurist, whatever they're called these days, and get a mani or a pedi. You can interact with people without thinking, is that the narcissist? Who is this person? I don't get it. You can trust yourself. You can trust your instincts. You can pay attention to red flags. You can believe in your intuition, etc. because your confidence will return, and it will return with a flurry once you've healed and you've healed properly. But to get there, you're gonna have a lot of heavy lifting to do. You're gonna have a lot of work to do. You're gonna have to do everything I mentioned earlier, and you have to really, really wrap your head around the fact that the person that you were in the relationship with, not only did they never care about you, they didn't love you, but they don't care about anybody or love anybody. Tough pill to swallow, but it's reality. Now, having said that, how the narcissist takes your confidence, because they can't have people with a backbone. They can't have people with their own opinion. They can't have people believing in themselves. They can't have people saying the truth and standing up for what they believe in. This is why either you fit into the life of the narcissist when they met you, if they were grooming you, or when they were grooming you, or you don't. They looked at you and they figured you out. Were you a people pleaser? Were you a yes person? Did you have boundaries? Did you come from household A, B, or C? Or what about your former relationships? One of the main things the narcissist looks for is empathy. If you have a high level of empathy, or if you are an empath, and we are few and far between, but if you are, they looked at you like Thanksgiving dinner every single minute when you were in that relationship. Whether they were halfway around the world texting you, whether they were sitting right next to you on a couch, ignoring you on one of their 3 smartphones, whether you were at a dinner being triangulated with the waitstaff, or whether you were at work ruminating or trying to function on a high level and you couldn't because your phone was being blown up, or whether you went home early from work one day and you cooked a lavish dinner and you cooked all the veggies and the dinner and everything was all ready, and the narcissist rolled in 3 hours late and claimed that they didn't see your text that you were making dinner for them, and they ignored you and blamed you for doing what you did because you didn't run it by them first, even though you text them at 12 o'clock and asked them what they wanted on the menu, etc. When all these things happen, that's when you realize, oh my gosh, all the baggage was the narcissist's. It wasn't mine. But they didn't want me to have a voice. They didn't want me to stand up for myself. They couldn't be in a relationship with somebody who actually figured them out. They couldn't be in a relationship with someone who saw behind the mask. And they couldn't be with someone who actually was intelligent and who would figure out who they were. That's why once you figured out who the narcissist was, and you probably figured it out when the relationship ended, once you did that, then that's when you sat on the ground or you dropped to your knees and you said, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. That's what this person was. I can't wrap my head around it. How did I get through this? How did I make it day in and day out, week after week, for years, maybe even decades? Well, it's because you're resilient. It's because you're an empath. It's because you're full of fortitude, commitment. You're full of courage. You're full of strength. And you're full of an ability that the narcissist will never even know of, which is love. You see, you have the ability to love. The narcissist doesn't. And the narcissists want to take that ability and the ability of all of your confidence, I should say. They want to take your confidence and they want to make sure that you didn't have your confidence and that you would be subservient to them and that you would listen to them and that you would put them high on a pedestal and that you would drop everything that you were doing to put out the fires that were starting intentionally. You see, that's what the narcissist needs. They need the indentured servant. They need the walking apology. They need a person who will not question them, who will tolerate their poor behavior. They need enablers. They need flying monkeys. They need people subservient. They need people reliant upon them, because the narcissist at any moment and on any day of the year, they want to have the ability to end any relationship or put it on pause for as long as they want to, because they flat out don't care about anybody but themselves. And this goes for and includes their own children, their spouses, their ex-spouses, their parents, their colleagues, coworkers, neighbors, people in communities and or hobby groups they're part of. The narcissist only cares about inflicting damage and pain, and they want to drive wedges between anything and anything that mattered to you. And your confidence was one of those things. So when the narcissist realized that they could take your confidence from you, and they could shatter your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations and goals and everything, and they could drive wedges between you and virtually anything that mattered to you, that was topping them up. That was giving them supply. It was giving them control. It was allowing them to control you and the relationship and the trajectory of your life for that period of time. And they wanted to do as much damage to you as they possibly could. Again, I know, tough pill to swallow, but it's real. And your confidence was something that took a big hit throughout that relationship. But what happened was you got that needle in a haystack. You figured out that it was a narcissistic relationship, or a toxic relationship to say the least. That's when you picked yourself up by the bootstraps. You dusted yourself off. You began to heal. You began to journal, to meditate, to watch videos, to understand that this was a relationship that you were targeted by, meaning the narcissist was targeting you. And they did not ever care about you, only what you provided, because they looked at you as an opportunity. They looked at you as somebody they could take from for a period of time. And they accomplished that for the length of the relationship. And then when that relationship ended, if you were discarded or you ended it yourself, either way, my heart goes out to you. But it usually, and probably your relationship was no different, it ended with a thud, a crash, a bang. And the discard or the ending came out of left field, and you couldn't wrap your head around how somebody 1 minute could be professing they loved you and cared about you. And the very next minute, they act like they don't even know you, and they want nothing but punishment for you because they were envious and jealous of you, and they didn't want you to ever figure out who they were. Well, that's the narcissistic relationship in a nutshell. And that's why you are strong. That's why your confidence has returned, or it will return. And that's why the narcissist took their best shot at you, but they failed miserably like they always do. That's why you really need to get the message and go no contact and block these people, delete them, remove them, and all fly monkeys and people associated with them. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Understand something. Confidence is something that throughout different periods of your life, you may have had a lot of it. You may have been lacking it. And maybe right now you're lacking it. Maybe it's just returned. Who knows? But I can assure you, we all have faced challenges with confidence since we were children, through adolescence, through high school, college. And as we grew older, we faced challenges like, did I fit in here? Do I belong here? Am I good enough to do this? Your first day at work, should you do it? Like, I get all these things. I'm a human being too. I live them. But what the narcissist does is they want to steal your confidence and they want to stomp on it. And they don't want it ever to return. And they think that they can actually do that. And I'll be honest with you, they can do it for a period of time until they can't any longer. Because once you break the spell of the narcissist and you cut the 4 ties, the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie, they can't do anything to you. And they become itsy bitsy teeny weeny, like a piece of dirt behind me underneath those pine trees. And they know it. So they take their best shot at people. They take their best shot at controlling and destroying people's lives. And your confidence was something that they really wanted to take from you, but eventually you figured it out, and that's why you're here in the channel. That's why my hope is either your confidence has returned, it is returning, or it will return. And remember, I'm standing at the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, waiting to pick you up there. Understand, if where you are right now is not where you want to be, there's work to be done. If you're there next to me, I'm giving you a big hug. From the beautiful Carolinas, this is Andrew. Namaste. I love you all. God bless you. And I'm sending you a big, huge virtual hug and a heart. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And my hope is your confidence has returned. If it hasn't, it will. And it will return with a flurry, just like that train. I love you all. God bless you. Bye.